Hello, I'm back. So this is like a setup, and I was originally thinking of filming this in a total different video, but I'm still waiting for my camera to charge. So I thought I'll just insert it in my vlog because I kind of want to talk to you guys casually about this. So I will share with you the books that I like to read, specifically self-help books that I like to read when I'm feeling a little bit down, emotionally distressed, or like just stressed out because of the negativity that is happening around me. So the first thing that I like to do is to shut myself off from everything. I do like a 2-minute meditation, just opening up my mind and soul and kind of synchronizing my breathing. That helps a lot in clearing out your mind. And I tend to just turn off my phone, not go on social media for certain hours, and try to stay away from like people that likes to complain, basically negative people. So that helps too. But yeah, other than that, I like to read books that kind of give me tips or inspires me or motivates me to think positive, be on the right track. You're capable of doing things. You can do these things, and you're more than what you think you are. So basically it just kind of helps me cheer up. And yeah, without further ado, let's hop into the books that I like to read. So the first book that I like to read is the book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and I actually saw this from That's Heart's video when she posted this as one of her favorites. So this book is basically just ways to keep little things from taking over your life. So basically just like, we all complain and whine at the same time, but then we can do so much, but then it kind of get to a point where all we do is complain and not do anything about it. So this book kind of helps me think in a bigger picture rather than like thinking the worst possible things that could ever happen. Like for example, getting stressed because the internet is not working, which is a lot of you guys are guilty of, I'm pretty sure. But I get so angry and stressed and just worn out thinking about, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Can't function without internet, blah, blah. But then I go back to this book and I read it, and then I tell myself, technology has some faults. Maybe today is not the day, or maybe today is just the day for you to do other things rather than focusing on stalking people on social media or like posting stuff on social media. So that's one example. And just like other things like arguments, you don't have to be always right. Sometimes it's, you know, it's good to be kind and compassionate about others as well. And just like acts of kindness and stuff. So I really like this book, and I've also marked down the chapters that I like, and I always go back to reading this whenever I feel so distressed or can't sleep or just down. So that's the first book that I bought. The second book that I bought was actually this, because it reminded me of the book that me and my friends used to read when I was studying back in the Philippines. So this book is so huge back then. It's the Chicken Soup for the Soul, but this is not the exact book that I was reading with my friends. It was actually Chicken Soup for Teenager's Soul or Teenage Heart. They also have like a bunch of different things like womanhood, fatherhood, boys, that kind of stuff. So I specifically like the Chicken Soup for the Soul because it is like a compilation of different true stories from people all over the world, which kind of teaches you something, opening your heart into something bigger, rekindling your heart. So they have like different categories. So they have one on love, on parenting, on learning, live your dream, and the last one is overcoming obstacles. So it's just basically like mantras from different people and like affirmations that you could apply to your life as well. So I really like this book. So I would highly suggest this book. Out of these books that I'm going to show you guys, this is by far the best, because it not only teaches you something, but also it tells you that you're not the only one going through this, or you're not the only person that's going through a rough life. There's a bunch of people that is going through hard times as well, but this book kind of just like enhances like how these people in the stories overcome everything from fear, broken heart, from dreams, and everything. So yeah, I highly recommend this book. The third book that I purchased was actually this one, and this is called The Magic. And basically this book is like law of attraction. It is basically saying that like gratefulness attracts everything good in life. So being gratitude about little things, from like having a job, enjoying the sun, being able to spend time with friends, your loved ones, family, or even just like treating yourself and being grateful for everything, it will show that, you know, good things will go back to you. And so that's what this book is about. And I saw this book from Dulcie Candy when she was sharing about 28 days of being grateful, and then from then on it becomes a habit and a routine that every morning you write down the things that you're grateful for, or even like take photos of the things that you're grateful for. So there's a lot of different ways where you can show your gratefulness. So one thing would be like keeping a journal and jotting down things. Another thing would be like taking photos and putting it in like a mood board style and sticking it into a book. That way it will just constantly remind you that how lucky you are, like how grateful you are of things in life. So that's the book, and that's by Rhonda Byrne. And the third book that actually the fourth book that I purchased was How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now I saw this similar book from Jermaine, J Loves Mac on YouTube, when she was actually no, this is kind of like the same book as what she showed. The book that she showed was How to Deal with Difficult People. So I kind of feel like this book is somewhat similar, because it tells you how to win friends and influence people. So basically you're dealing with a lot of people, how to solve problems and how to kind of maintain a good relationship with people. I bought this book, funny story, because at work there's a lot of people that stresses me a lot, and there's a lot of difficult people that instead, you know, the type of people where you're trying to confront them in a good way, but they turn everything around and it becomes your fault. It becomes into this like whole huge argument of like bullshit, which is not even relevant to what you're trying to tell them. So I was so stressed out, so I was like, that's it, I need something to read and kind of like learn how to articulate people in a good way, or like how to deal with difficult people that just doesn't want to listen. So I kind of learned a lot, and basically instead of being superior, you have to be kind of like, you have to take a step back, listen to what they're actually saying, and kind of like think before you respond. Because if both of you are just trying to make a point, nothing's gonna get solved. But if you're trying to let them talk first, get their point, highlight that point, and then kind of like throw in your points as well. That way they will realize that somehow they're wrong in a way, but you're not blaming them that they're wrong, if you know what I mean. But yeah. So it's funny because it says here, the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. So I feel like a lot of people, don't quote me on this, but this is just based on my experience, but I feel like a lot of people go through so much that instead of showing their true emotions, they ended up being like bitchy, bossy, dominant, because that's just how they express themselves, and to not let people know that they're broken inside. So this kind of helped me understand that kind of people, and it kind of gave me tips on how to deal with them. So I kind of highlighted stuff that I feel like that will help me, jot it onto a book, and yeah, make some points, and then it kind of helped me deal with them. But yeah, that's it. So that's that book there, so you can go ahead and check them out. And the other book that I got is by Richard Carlson, which is the same author as Don't Sweat with the Small Stuff. And this one is about living your life positively. So it says stop thinking, start living. So it kind of tells you simple ways to let go of negativity in your life, in your mind, and discover lifelong happiness. So what I learned in this book is that what you think is how you react. So if you think negatively about something like burnt food, obviously you're gonna react badly. Like, oh my god, how the fuck did this person burn my food? Don't they realize that I'm paying this much money to buy from them, and then like they ended up giving me shitty food, that kind of thing. So you're turning into like a negative freak, instead of saying, oh, maybe it's not the day for them, or maybe like you can complain about it in a good way. Just say, look, no disrespect here, but I feel like I deserve a new meal because this person burnt my food. Or it's just basically telling you how your mind can control your emotions. So if you start letting go of things and just think about happy things, like for example, you're great, you feel great today, you're in a happy mood, so the rest of the things in your life will follow, or the rest of the things that will happen on the day will follow. Like you'll have great conversations with people, you'll get a lot of compliments, as well as giving people compliments. So whatever you think, it kind of flows on the way you act, and then it reflects on how people react on you. So this is what the book is about, and it's about controlling what goes into your head. So that's that. And then the last book that I got was actually a Christmas present from my boyfriend's family. And this one is by Rhonda, and this one is called Treasure Yourself. And it basically tells you how to treasure yourself, look after yourself more, physically and internally, because you can't just love other people without loving yourself. And what I love about this book is that she also shares the affirmations that she loves. So at the end of the book, you can scroll or like pick a page, and then you'll have like an affirmation. For example, this one says, I stand strong in my personal power. And then she kind of explains it, or kind of like highlight the stuff that she thinks she has from this mantra, which is like personal power. So I am creative human being with unlimited potential. I create a space for anything I want in my life to appear, and I appreciate and seize every opportunity. So I really like this book because it kind of gives me motivation and gives me a in a right mindset before starting my day. So I tend to read this before I go to bed. And yeah, it's just amazing, really. So those are the books that I like to read when I feel like my life is in a rut, or if I feel like there's too much negativity going in my head. So if you guys have any other suggestions of self-help books that I could probably check out and read, just leave them down below. Other than that, I hope this book kind of gives you an idea on what they're all about, and you're more than welcome to check them on your bookstores and then let me know what you think about them, or if it helped you a lot. And last but not the least, it doesn't matter how many self-help books you read, if you don't apply them to your day-to-day life, then nothing's gonna change. That's all I can say, because I've definitely have been guilty of that. Like, I tend to hoard these books, I read them, and then I don't physically apply them to my day-to-day life. So I'm like, I can't help but think that, oh, why was I spending this much money on books where it didn't help me? But that was on me, actually, because I need to practice. I need to practice the things that I've read and learned to be able to see results, not just read them and then forget about it. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next vlog.